welcome back to Nerd Talk, the monthly podcast show where we take a deep dive into all things nerdy of the week, including movies, comics, anime, manga, games, etc., etc. To start today, we're going to continue our long-going interviewing series with the cast of Spider-Man Lotus. Today we have the boy himself, the boy who collects Spider-Man, Maxwell Taylor, and his mother, Mariah Taylor, on the show today. So Max, Mariah, welcome to the show, guys. It's really awesome to have you guys here.
See you.
Thank you. What did you say?
Max Fox.
Oh, Max Fox? I'm sorry. Gotcha, Max Fox. Yeah, so jumping right into it, I just wanted to kind of ask this because this was kind of, on my mind. How did you go about getting the role of Tim Hammond? Like, did you know Gavin before going into this, or?
One day, I was just sitting down watching the show with my mom, and then my mom came in and with her computer and was like, oh my god, and I got a call from my agent saying that you got this role for the Spider-Man movie. And I was like, what? Who am I? And it took and they didn't say, and then I figured out after a few days, and I was Tim Harrison, the boy who collects Spider-Man.
So how has this role differed from your previous work? Has this been like challenging? Has this been more difficult, or has this been a lot more easier and like kind of smooth paced?
It was fun. I liked filming Spider-Man. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, so doing this was an honor. Mm-hmm. And really cool being with the cast and everybody who are very nice. And yeah.
How would you describe your on-set chemistry with Warden? Because I did an interview with Warden. He seemed to really like you. So, how would you describe that?
Both like Spider-Man and Spider-Man and I'm Tim Harrison. We both have chemistry in the comics, live action in the movie, and just plain out, we're really good friends.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. It's like, I don't know about the story. I don't know anything about the story itself. I do know from what I've read about the comics, but, the boy who collects Spider-Man is a pretty, sad story. And, obviously I don't want you to spoil anything about the movie, but, what was the hardest thing for you to film in terms of getting into that character and getting into that story?
Saying bye to Spider.
Really? Oh, I'm gonna cry during this movie. I'm calling it now. I'm gonna cry during this movie. Okay, well dang. Saying bye to Spider-Man. I could not imagine doing that. That's playing that character? No.
I was balling so hard. I was like, that's the last day I'm gonna be in this bed.
That sounds so difficult.
Scene, because when we filmed that scene, it was the last day of shooting for me, so I pretty much would not see them for a really long time, and I got a good connection with them, so it's like hanging out with somebody you really care about, and in this case it was the cast, and you leave after a short amount of time. It's like moving away from your friends. Mm-hmm. It was really hard.
Yeah, that was another question I had. How long were you on set for? Were you about a week or two? Yeah, so because that was the thing. I don't know obviously how long Tim Harrison's in this story. So when it came to watching the trailer and stuff, I was sitting there. I was like, I really want this to actually be this story, because this is one of my favorite Spider-Man stories of all time, is The Boy Who Collects Spider-Man, as well as Spider-Man Blue. So when I found out both those stories were being taken inspiration from to make this film, I was like, okay, I really want to see this fleshed out. So I'm really glad that that's actually happening. Do you have a favorite moment on set, from when you were filming with them, or?
Was I actually got to play video games with Spider-Man, so that was probably one of my favorite moments. I played video games with Spider-Man.
Do you remember what game you played?
It was this old PS1 Spider-Man game.
Oh yeah. Me and him obviously knew that, but Yeah, man. The old PS. That's like classic original old Spider-Man game. Like that's old Spider-Man. I love that. Um, well, I get this is kind of a dumb question given that Spider-Man is your favorite superhero. But if you could be any character within the Marvel or DC universe, who would you be and why?
I'll say each one, and then I'll say both reasons. So I would want to be in the Marvel Universe, Miles Morales. Why? Because I'm very similar to him.
Mm,
My father's Black Puerto Rican, and I'm trying to learn Spanish actively. I know some, and also I'm a big Spider-Man fan. I love to draw, and I sometimes can do flips. So
that's awesome. Hey, that's how Tom Holland got the role. Was he just submitted videos of him doing flips and stuff to Marvel, and they were like, this kid could be Spider-Man. And that's the rest is history. So, dude, I would definitely love to see you as Miles Morales. That'd be awesome. Gavin, do you have anything you want to add on?
Do you have like a favorite Spider-Man movie?
that's on hold right now because I'm waiting to see Spider-Man No Way Home, and once I see it, I'm probably gonna have my final answer. But so far, probably Spider-Man Far From Home.
That's the first person I've ever heard say that Spider-Man Far From Home was their favorite Spider-Man movie. That's awesome. I love that.
My favorite, like the Homecoming, they did really good on that one, and then like they added up to it. They added a whole story of how it started like Spider-Man Blue. He just wanted to retire from Spider-Man for a few days, but then it shows like how much Spider-Man is a good person, even though he wants to take a break. He will still fight the good fight. He will, even though he's tired and doesn't want to work anymore. When there's people in danger, he's always going to put that mask on and swing into action.
Awesome, man. With getting back to your character of Tim Harrison, this character, obviously, like I said earlier, has a very sad background. It's a very emotional storyline. It's a very difficult storyline for a lot of readers. In your eyes, how did you manage to create your own interpretation of the character? Did you borrow inspiration from something, or did you have like a past experience?
They had the comic on set, so I got to read the comic, and then I got inspiration from that, and I took my own details and stuff from it. Being a Spider-Man fan myself, in real life I'm technically literally the kid who collects Spider-Man. I have Spider-Man everything. And my mom helped me interpret the character, and doing that was not easy, but still it was fun, and being with Warden and everybody else on set, I got the experience, and I just went on with the flow.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. Like, that was something that I wanted to ask about because, playing this character, like, not many people can play a character like that. I've seen a lot of movies that, like, have to do with, like, real-life situations like that of, like, having an illness or, going through a traumatic experience, and actors just won't do it. They just don't want to put themselves through that trauma that someone else faced. So it's really cool that you're actually taking that up, especially at such a young age. Like, that's crazy to me. Moving on to kind of a more lighthearted topic. With the character of Tim Harrison, he kind of, in a way, had like a story. I don't know, you obviously read the comics, so you obviously know that he had like his own connection to Spider-Man. So, without spoiling anything, do you think that you would see, like, for instance, like a scene where, like the ending of the book where they're flying through New York, like Tim Harrison and Spider-Man? Is there something like that of, some sort of similarity, or?
Not really. Honestly, I really don't leave with Spider-Man because I have to stay in my room like several times. But no, not really. There's not like where he takes me on a swinging trip, nothing like that in the movie.
Yeah, because like that was always something that, like, I don't know. I loved obviously the ending of the Kid Who Collects Spider-Man story, but it was just like I was like, I wanted it to be a little more grounded in realism, so I'm glad that that's actually happening. Gab, do you have anything you want to ask?
Yeah. Where did you film the whole thing?
I filmed in Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Oh, Arkansas.
We were gonna film in LA, but since the shutdown, we couldn't get a set. And then we tried to film it here where I actively am in Florida, but they decided that Morden's parents had this whole like doctor setup and everything. So they're like, hey, why don't you shoot here? You can do it here. It's cheap and we don't really care. So they just agreed, hey, let's take all this equipment to Arkansas and let's film there. So that's what we did.
Yeah, because isn't that where like Warden and Gavin were originally? Yeah. So that's interesting. That's cool actually. That like they were like, hey, let's just do it here, and like they filmed it all there. So like, was the room? Because obviously I've seen the trailer and stuff. Was the bedroom that you guys filmed in? Was that an actual bedroom, or was that like a built set, or like?
That was an actual bedroom. Pretty sure it was Warden's old bedroom.
Oh, no way. That is awesome. I'm going to tease him about that. I'm going to be like, that's your old bedroom. But, no, I saw that because it was literally just caked in Spider-Man stuff. And I loved that because, like, I was like, that is perfect. But I didn't know if that was like a set or not, or if that was like an actual room that you guys did.
You thought it was a set? It was actually fan art. Like, there's this whole wall where, like, there's a TV where we played a Spider-Man show in the background. We played the old 1970s show. And, like, above it was a wall of fan art that we used. And from the community who wanted to see Spider-Man Lotus on screen.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, because I heard from Sean, Harry Osborn, when I interviewed him, how... like fans in New York would help you guys like film this movie. Like they would like stop people in Times Square to like get the shots and everything like that. So like, was all your scenes specifically just in this bedroom, or did you like go out in the open and film stuff or anything like that?
Most of my scenes were in the bedroom. I really didn't have the chance to. There wasn't really anything that needed me to leave the bedroom because I had to stay in the bedroom, and that's where the comic takes place, in the kid's bedroom. So it wouldn't make sense to like add something else, like I go to the kitchen and I make a Spider-Man pancake with Spider-Man.
That would have been, I would have watched that. That would have been an awesome scene to watch in the bedroom. Getting to kind of like, this is like a little bit more of a like kind of real think about question, is like, how would you describe the theme of Spider-Man Lotus in like 3 words?
Fun, adventurous, and heartening.
Heartening? That's a really interesting.
Sounds like a first good Spider-Man movie right there.
Oh yeah, that's like the core elements of a Spider-Man movie right there. It's just fun, campy humor, heartness. Like that's literally it. Is your mother with you today, Mariah? Is she there? Mariah, are you there?
I'm here. Hold on, let me see if I can scoop.
She's the one who actually plays my mom in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, she told me about that when we first were trying to discuss getting a podcast. Hey. I have a few questions for you if you don't mind. One of them being because, like, obviously from a real life standpoint, you are his real life mother. Was playing the mother of Tim Harrison like difficult in any way? Because, like, obviously, it's a kid with an illness.
Yeah, well, we both are in film and television, and I never, ever, ever am cast as his mother. As you can see, the likeness isn't as, again, his father's Black and Puerto Rican, so he's usually put with a different mom and family. So it was great for me because it was one of our first times being able to actually interact on set as mother and son. Which was extremely natural. There were some difficult moments leading up to a couple of scenes, which you have to, of course, refer back.
It was hard to watch. It was really hard. In one of the scenes, she had to cry a lot, and she wanted me in the background. I was standing on this like medical bed or something. I swear I almost fell like 6 times. But in order for her to get that crying effect, she needed me in the background while I was just looking at the poster of a syringe or something.
So
while she was bawling.
So there's a few moments that are a little more heavy, and it was what's the premise, of course, of the whole thing is that Spider-Man is being inspired. He doesn't want to be Spider-Man anymore. It's too heavy, and where does he find inspiration and rebuilding and becoming the Spider-Man that we all know and love? And so what Tim Harrison's part and role is essentially to, start his heart beating again. And, when he does that by limiting, his own heartbeat. And so therefore, it's a very intricate, hard part for a real mom to watch, because you have to kind of separate out. But even just thinking of those parents that have to suffer through terminally ill children in any capacity, you feel for them, but you want to give the experience to the audience. You don't want to overplay it. You want to respect it. And so I just did the best that I could to just keep it real.
Yeah, you wanted to be honest with it. I get that. Yeah. With that storyline, because I understand that completely. I actually, in real life, was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. So my parents went through that whole situation. So I understand that whole storyline. With how the character is taken, did you pull any inspiration from real life or anything like that with, Tim Harrison and what's going on?
Yeah, so I have a 17-year-old daughter who at 5 years old was diagnosed with an Arnold-Chiari malformation, which is a tumor where the base of the brain grows into the top of the spinal cord. So I had to spend a month in All Children's where I was told my daughter had to have brain surgery. And I had to, sit with other parents where you have to, there's this weird place of, I'm so glad that's not me. I feel bad for you and what you're going through, but mine is bad enough. And I'm glad, it's just, it's a very trying and difficult thing when you're dealing with children and illness, and you have to be the strength when you're broken on the inside. And so I pulled from my own experience. She's okay, she healed well, I was blessed, she's fine. But during that time, there's moments of picturing them wheeling her away into surgery, stuff that you just won't ever forget as a parent. And so what I would give to the parents that are part out there in the world that are watching this, feel free to know that it's a homage to their truth, and not, it doesn't pan to utilizing that in order to make a point. It really does show the relationship between mother and son, and then him and Spider-Man, and how special that is, because not just of his illness, but because of his love for Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. That was because with that whole arc, that whole storyline, that was just such like a, I don't know, that was one of the most realistic, in my opinion, the most realistic stories that Marvel's ever put out about Spider-Man, because it does really put you in the shoes of because Spider-Man, come on, he's a guy who swings from buildings, fights bad guys, claws walls, and now he has this kid who aspires to him, but is going through his own kind of battle and his own kind of situation. And Spider-Man in the comic obviously really sits down and understands that story, and understands that this kid can't do what he can do, so he kind of lowers himself down to that level. So it's really cool that the parents in this way kind of play the hero. I like that. I just really do.
Also too, I would flip it around, and he doesn't drop down to his level. Max or Tim Harrison brings him up.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
It really does. It takes Spider-Man that a reality and a real, especially for us true comic lovers, that it's not always the big blockbuster moments of blowing up buildings. There's a real person under there with real emotions and real feelings, and he's really, really down. and he sees the strength in this child, and it builds him back up and says, okay, now I can
do this.
Yeah.
Kind of going off the last question, how would you, because every single character, at least from the trailer that I've seen, has something going on. Definitely Peter, especially Harry with his drug situation, and I don't really know what's going on with Mary Jane. It does look like something serious is going on within the trailer. How would you describe your character's mood and, I guess how would you describe the thoughts that are going through their mind as the story goes on in Spider-Man Lotus?
For myself or for Tim?
For you, for Tim's mom.
I can't tell you. Let's see. How do I say it in the nicest and best?
Well, we didn't really get to see Sean and Mariah film, and we really didn't see them that much. We did see the trailer, which they were both in, and they did an amazing job of casting those two, and I know they're going to do a really good job, but we didn't get that much from them because we weren't on set filming with them.
To answer your question, there were, let's see. I have a very good answer. I'm trying to do it in a way that's not spoiler. Can you ask the question again?
Yeah, basically, how would you describe the mood of your character? What is she feeling? How is she going, throughout, the movie or just in specific scenes?
Okay, so in a different world, in the universe that we live in now, in this reality, there would be no amount of money or sacrifice that I would have given to have had him have this experience when he's well, let alone if he were sick, what I would have to do, and to have been able to live this experience that he got to have as a well child, thank God, really truly was magical throughout the entire thing. There's a lot of stuff I can't release until after. I have a ton of backstage, behind the scenes photos and videos. One of my favorites is when Warden walked in. Now, he'd already met him. He'd already met Gavin. He'd already seen the suit. He already had the whole thing. But there was a moment when Warden just fully dressed onto set, and Max, Tim Harrison, he's such a true, since he's born, Spider-Man is his life.
I was like,
he lit up in a way that I couldn't have, there's this video that I have, and when I put it out, it'll be worth watching, because you can see, he's got tears. I mean, in his world, in his eyes, this child he's with Spider-Man. There was no, acting that needed to happen, because in his moment he was with Spider-Man.
It was so genuine.
It was so genuine. I cried for 7 days. Let's put it so awesome. It was I couldn't, every moment that they had was genuine, to the video games, to the books, and then when it ended up, he was talking about, just saying goodbye. It wasn't anything dramatic. There was nothing that happened other than him just saying goodbye to him. He really, when I asked, because as a parent, you're on set and you want to make sure everybody, nothing's overwhelming for him. And he didn't want me in there, and we were watching on the screen, and everybody was crying. Everybody was crying. And so
even Warden, I felt like I saw a tear through that costume.
So what we did was, I asked him, I pulled him aside, was like, honey, are you okay? And I said, what is going on? What is it that they're telling you to inspire you to feel this way? And he just said,
I was mindless.
What he said was, it's just my last day that I get to work with Spider-Man. And he was genuinely heartbroken that this was him saying.
I'm about to cry just hearing that, man. That sounds horrible.
So every moment that they had, again, you can take it on context, off context, but like I cried for 7 days of just the sheer watching this little boy get to have this entire experience. Like there wasn't, you couldn't put a value to it. It was so real and so genuine. And if you think that you are gonna cry now, I mean, it plays.
That's how you see them.
I know.
It definitely, there was no need for a rehearsal. It was like, hi, want to be best
We
friends?
had some rehearsals, but other than that, I just went through them. They were like, okay, that's one rehearsal. Let's get to filming.
Yeah, it was very natural, and their relationship was so raw and real that it took out anything that needed to be there context-wise, because the chemistry between the two were so genuine that it is heart-wrenching just on that level. Then you add in the other stuff, and there won't be a dry eye in the house, I can promise you.
And scene.
Yeah, no, that's so crazy to me that, like, that can, because, like, obviously I've never been on, like, a set like that, so, like, to, be there and witness everybody just behind the scenes crying and, like, watching the scene. I'm terrified of this movie now. I am so scared of this movie, because I'm just gonna be watching it and just sob the entire time. I'm gonna film my reaction to this movie, because...
Yeah, I love watching the reaction to Endgame when everybody,
We watched the video, like, one of the first videos we ever watched about this, she was like, oh my god, people are actually watching this stuff! And, like, we saw the reaction trailer to our thing of this guy reacting to our trailer, and he was trying to look for the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, but then it was, like, announced, like, there was no way trailer. And then, like, some dude announced the trailer, so I'm pretty sure he's doing that video right now. But instead of, like, ending the video there, he was like, I'm gonna give this thing a chance. And then after the trailer, he was crying. he was like, oh my god, I can't wait to see this. And then he was like hashtagging people, and he was like shouting out, and like he really liked that trailer.
Yeah,
and
no,
he was
really cool to like have your thing in front of people.
That is, yeah, that was for me, because, like, I didn't record my reaction to watching the Lotus trailer. I sent Warden, like, Instagram photos, like, Instagram videos of me watching it, because I was in one of the few people who, like, I was in actually a few people. There was, like, thousands of people waiting for the trailer to drop, and I was in that group, just waiting. And when it finally came out, I started watching, and I sent it to Warden, and I was like, the scene where, it's not even really the scene, it's just when Max was saying what happened to the girl on the bridge, I was like, no, don't do this to me right now. It's literally like 2 seconds in, don't do this to me right now, don't make me cry right now.
It was hard for me, but Warden was a mess when I said that line.
Yeah, because it's...
like...
Yeah.
Even non-Spider-Man fans know what that line means.
That was part of it too, was the fact that Gavin was so good and instrumental at not directing but directing, which was awesome. When you work with kids or children, it's a completely different ball game, right? And he was so good at letting Max be Max. And to answer your original question, if you go back to Gavin's original video of casting, in the middle, it took actually another mom brought it to my attention, where he says, we had to audition lots and lots of people for Mary Jane and Gwen, but we had one kid that we had in mind from the beginning. And
while filming, I was like, how long did you have me in mind for this? And he said, like, since a week after production started, we were like, this kid could play Tim Harrison.
So what happened was,
I was like,
Max had, he does a lot of stuff on his Instagram, which unfortunately was hacked. We're rebuilding, so please go follow his new one at Maxwell Fox Official, and we are about to get it back in merge. But he had, a good following from all the other movies that he's from all the other movies that he was working on, and a lot of it had to do with his Spider-Man love and his comic love. And we got a message on Instagram where I think Warden had seen that, and Gavin. And I think there's that one picture that he has on the casting thing of Max in the orange shirt, and he was like, that's my Tim Harrison. So he contacted then his management team, and it went.
I was like, this is so I was just watching a show. Like, imagine you're watching a TV show or something. Like, I'm just gonna scroll through this, and then your agent calls you, or somebody that you like Spider-Man or like anime or something, and you're cast as like a really important character in that, and you're like, what? That's how I was like. It was so random. It just popped out that I didn't even have an expression. All I was like is,
so
what?
We were very happy, very pleased.
And I was very, very happy. Like, the next day I woke up like,
I mean, yeah, I would be the same way. I would be like, oh my god, this is happening. Like, I'd be losing my mind. That was one thing I wanted to ask about, was how did Gavin find you? What was it that kind of drew your attention?
4 agents, 2 managers. He does lots of film and television.
It's hard.
He does a lot of work.
It's not that easy. If you think this is easy, whoa, no. I'm getting auditions every day. My mom's MacBook, I feel like it's gonna explode. That's for Pokemon Go commercial, and then we're like, oh wait, you're supposed to be 18. Max for commercial about blah 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 blah. Like, it's a whole article
we did
of auditions and movies that they want me to do, and I'm like, I'm only 9.
Just gives the kid a heart attack at 9 years old.
Let's go back. Max does a lot of work. He just wrapped a couple of really big movies, and he has 2 very, very big movies that we can't yet announce that he's been cast in, which are very big for him, very big steps. But
it's when I heard of it, I was like,
yes. So
eventually, when you hear it, you're gonna be like,
yeah,
I know this kid. In this, my God.
So we're really excited. Currently, he just wrapped a movie called Carrollton, where he plays the young Danny Trejo, who was Machete, which is, funny, because then there's another thing that he's playing, a young Timothy Chalamet. So it's I don't know how
doing these movies.
You're all over the place, man. You're all over the place.
He's blown up. No, you cannot say. Oh. Sorry. So we have a big one. It's when we can announce it, will be very exciting. Really, really exciting. That we have in the we're working on. But
it hasn't been announced, but we're trying.
He does do probably 10 to 12 tapings. He taped
a day.
Yeah, he does. He filmed 2 movies this week. He's a busy guy. So if you go to his website, which is max-fox.com, we put all of his in motion projects there. Of course, Spider-Man Lotus is all over it. It's so far his favorite.
And then we also got Rain and Max.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about that in a minute. But this one by far is solidifying, a piece of his heart, I think. And I think he left that there with him. And I think when you see it on screen, there's no acting that could have been done. It was so genuine and so real that I think that
honestly, it was just the lines that were hard. Other than that, it was just a breeze.
Yeah, it was very genuine. So I think that's going to be part of what makes it as emotionally involved for the audience. is that it's just very genuine.
Yeah, did you guys expect Spider-Man Lotus to be as big as it is? Like 400,000 views in one day on the trailer.
Expected being a Spider-Man movie, it would probably be big. We didn't expect it would get that fast because like nobody knew Spider-Man Lotus was really a thing. Everybody was like focusing on No Way Home. Then this popped out like an Easter egg that you find in a bush that you pass 6 times on an Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, no, I first caught wind of Spider-Man Lotus. I first caught wind of Spider-Man Lotus back in, I want to say, January. I saw a picture of the suit. I saw a picture of Warden in the suit, and I thought it was just a really beautiful like cosplay or something. I didn't realize it was for a film. And I was like, that is, like, really insane quality. And then I, like, did more research and found out that it's for a movie. And I was like, that makes sense. And then, I just started looking stuff up, looking at everything going on. And finally, Eunice, I don't know if you know him, Reroll the Flash or Unity. I followed him since, like, 2014. And so he started posting about it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to really start getting into this. And then I just fell down a rabbit hole and just fell in love with this whole project and have been backing it ever since. So it was really cool to see it explode because, like I said, to watch it go from like a couple thousand people to like 15,000, 55,000, and then now it's at 400,000 views, the trailer.
Teaser trailer. When we first got the thing at it, we were on vacation, and then she was like, "Oh my god, everybody, don't move. Fingers crossed." And because we were hoping that it would play and that it was an actual thing, and it was. And then after watching it, we were all like, "Wow!" And then we looked at the views area, and everybody's jaw was dropped. I was at like 2,000 views, and it just came out like 3 days ago.
Yeah, it's insane, man. I don't even know how many views it's at now. I'm gonna probably put it up in editing, but it was insane watching that whole thing go out. Like, that trailer was beautiful. So in comparative,
like, where you get lost in my... So I do film production as well, and producing, a series right now that's pretty...
Random Max, like we talked about, but we will dive into that.
So we'll talk about that. But in the production arena, you have fan films, and then you have... projects that even aren't fan films that just because of funding or because of direction. And I feel like Gavin has such a level of respect from people that are in the industry, as well as fans, as well as, legitimate team members that because they believe in him and because they believe in keeping the vision of going back from the blockbuster that changes stuff and just for audiences that aren't, and it takes it back to the true grassroots, writing that is what the comic fans really want. And I think because of that, it's got this warm, like, fuzzy that everybody's just so excited to be part of.
Right. I don't know. When I saw, because like I said, I've only seen the trailer and then the photos that have been released. Just seeing the trailer alone, I was like, this is like one of the most beautiful pieces of media that I've ever seen in terms of just the cinematography. Like, it was just beautiful. It was stunning. So, like, even the shot of just like Warden and Max, like, just their backs, I was like, wow.
You wait.
Like,
it was awesome. The shots, it took a long time for the shots, but trust me, it was worth it.
Yeah, you're good.
And if you want to see even more like pics and like short clips, a lot of it is on my website and on my Instagram, right?
We're posting at what we're allowed.
Mm-hmm.
We're allowed. But I do have one of my favorites is the two of them. It is on his Instagram, actually, where they're laying on the bed with their scripts and they're looking at each other. That was just a between. Let me see if I can pull it up. That was just a between the shots kind of thing.
And she edited it so it looked like the Warden's costume was actually from the comic because it was like bright and fun and colorful.
I'll
just
put it
like,
up on the screen for all the viewers to watch and stuff. But
like, so there, I don't know if you can see it. You guys will probably have a better, but like they're just. Can you see it?
yeah.
Where they're just laying there looking at each other. Like, that's not in the script. That was just between shots where they were on the bed talking. And it was like just a moment that I caught. And there was so many of those that you're going to see this fabulous film, and it's amazing. But the behind the scenes of these two, and then him and Gavin, like,
me and Gavin.
I mean, they were like, hi, nice to meet you. Want to be best friends? Yep. You know, like, it really just...
With some of the script, like we added, like sort of added, but I gave him like some ideas, like, hey, we should do this as a part of it. And he was like,
see if you guys can see. So this is Gavin showing Max
the pre-suit,
the suit, and they were like two little kids in a candy store. Like, here's the comic, here's the suit, and here's this, and here's all the fan art. And
Gavin told me that when they first saw Warden in the suit, he was like. And he was petting it like a trophy, and then Warden was like, in the suit, he was like,
yeah.
Well, like that was the thing I read up on about like Spider-Man suits is like how I don't know why it's just like I feel like it's every Spider-Man suit that's like ever been made in terms of movies. It's just like everybody just wants to go up to it and like touch it, like just see what it's like. I don't know why that is. It's always like I've always just seen that.
I went to this Warner Bros. Studio thing in LA, I'm pretty sure, and we got to see like DC, everything Warner Bros. Like we saw the Aquaman suits. I didn't get to touch them because they were like in like chambers and stuff, but that was the real suit that that they got to wear and that they used. And like I got to see every Batmobile from the beginning to present. And I also saw the Friends and the Big Bang Theory setup.
Nice.
And then at the end we got this tour where we saw the famous Spider-Man unmasked kiss scene in the rain.
On the Warner Bros.
In Spider-Man 2.
That was Spider-Man 1.
Spider-Man 1.
Yep.
And I was like, wait, really? I'm standing right here? And then she told me, yeah, I don't think Tobey Maguire would want to be here right now because he had to survive a lot. I'm pretty sure because he had to be upside down. They had to have water dripping all over, so he got water all over his nose and face. It took like almost a day to film that scene.
Yeah, no, man, that whole movie, there were so many scenes like that. Like the scene where he like caught everything on the tray, that was like legit. Like he actually did that, and that took like 160 tries to like do that. I'm just like, the dedication that man has is like, nope. But no, like I went to, I don't know if you guys know, I went to the Henry Ford Museum here in Michigan, and they had the whole Marvel exhibit, like the MCU Marvel exhibit. And they had like, you know, they had like the late Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther suit on display, as well as like the Dora Milaje. But then they had Spider-Man. They had the Tom Holland Spider-Man suit, and then they had I forget what it was called, the homemade suit from Homecoming. They had that on display, and those two, because like they actually were allowing people, like, you know, there was a guard there, but they were allowing people to like, you know, get pictures with it and like touch it and everything like that. It literally feels like a basketball. Like it feels like the texture of a basketball. That's what the suit feels like. Like it is so weird how the suit feels, and like I can't even imagine how it feels underneath, like putting it on. That probably feels so itchy.
There was a
tight.
Well, yeah, there was.
Imagine Spider-Man has to wear that tight suit. Like in the comics, like there's this video of how can he do all those flips without like hurting his groin while flipping through the air with that suit. It's insane. But Spider-Man's so durable and durable that he can do those thingies without hurting his thingy.
Okay.
And that's Max.
That's Max in a nutshell.
That's him. There he is.
Awesome.
The video was by Needle Mouse Productions. Shout out by the way. Check out his YouTube channel.
Oh my gosh. Alright. Well, Mariah, you were saying something?
I don't know.
God, she's gone. She has no idea. She's just like, what?
I try as I might stay as professional as possible.
No.
Oh, this is such an unprofessional show. There's no professionalism here.
You know something about me? If I'm in a room trying to be professional, I won't allow it. I will be a goofster on set, filming, and live. I could be doing something really stupid, and while she's trying to be the serious girl, and next thing you know, she's making jokes left and right. That's what I love about my mom.
Aww. Yeah, I can't wait for the comments of this episode to be like, this episode in a nutshell, just spider thingies, and just, that's it. Like, oh boy, these comments are gonna be great. Well, Gav, do you have any other questions you want to ask? My brain is spider thingies right now.
That's all I'm thinking about right now.
That's all I'm thinking about right now. That threw me off completely, but it was awesome. Well worth it.
Just getting out of the spider thingy right now.
Spider thingy.
I want to talk about you guys.
Well, what do you? That's different. Nobody actually ever asked. What do you want to know about us?
You into comic books, and why did you start the show, and how do you enjoy it?
Well, we started the show in April of this year. Me and Gavin kind of just looked at each other because we've talked obviously to our friends, and we ask questions like this all the time, just talking to each other about the movie. We actually have talked about Lotus a bunch, just talking about our theories about the movie. And Gavin came to me one day, like April 23rd or something, and was like, "Why don't we make this like a thing? Why don't we post these videos?" And I'm like, "Okay." And then we got started, and we did the first episode, and then about a month later, we interviewed Warden, and we just kept going and going and going, and like I said, we just kind of fell in love with it. How long I've been
big dudes from this.
You guys are big. I think you guys are awesome. Like, I want to get everybody going and just get to interview everybody of you guys because, like I said, I've been supporting. I don't know if I've kind of given it away, but I'm kind of crapping bricks right now, trying to not freak out because, seeing you guys it's the most cool thing ever. Just to have you guys on the show. So like I said, I bought the Blu-ray for this movie. I bought the poster. I did everything I could to support this.
Thank you for your support. That is the reason that we were able. Well, Gavin, was able to do. I think he started off thinking he was going to be able to do one thing, and then was so blessed by his following and by these supporters that truly believed in him and the vision. And it's people like you that made it happen, that we could have this experience, that he could have that experience, and that we can bring to you what I believe, honestly, is going to be
one of the greats.
Yeah, I don't want to be the person to be.
Trust me, if she is, I'll snap her.
I don't.
I'll save you guys.
I don't want to be. Again, it's not an ego thing. It's just when you've been I've been in the industry a long time, and I've seen a lot of scripts, and I've seen a lot of stuff get shelved, and I've seen a lot of projects that they look fabulous or they didn't. This has got such warm and real raw truth to the real true writing of the comics that I don't think failure is an option. I think it's going to take it to a level that we never expected.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I said, I'm so excited. Well said. I'm so excited for this movie. I'm so excited for everybody in it. Like I said, I haven't even seen it. I already know you guys probably did phenomenal. I'm so excited for it.
Performs, so we're excited to see.
Yeah, it's very hush hush. Everything's been hush hush, so we're gonna be just as surprised as you to see it all put together. Though we've read the script, it doesn't, do it justice to how it's cut and how it's edited and what's stays in and out. So we're looking forward to hopefully getting together with the gang. I'm gonna hopefully be putting on.
We're probably gonna do one of those things where like we have our own private movie theater, we get to see the movie, and that's just gonna.
So we're going to be planning
for all of us.
We're planning on doing a big premiere here, where we're gonna
red carpet signing, autographs, pictures.
So we're gonna try to organize
shout-outs
to get.
Where is that going to be at? Because I will.
Yeah, we'll definitely be there.
Yeah, we're in Florida. Gavin is super busy right now.
We could maybe start for you.
So what we're trying.
We could get you merch. We already got all this stuff.
Awesome.
So what we're.
Nerd talk.
So what we're trying to do, Max has a premiere that was supposed to come out for COVID, and so prior to the premiere was scheduled the first week of the shutdown.
Oh.
So
it was so hard. We worked so hard, and then they were like curtains.
Right. So we do have everything for the premiere, meaning all the walk and repeat, the red carpet, the theater. We have everything.
And then we were like, if they open Comic-Con, we should be able to open a small, big event like a red carpet event.
So by the time it premieres, I think we'll rent out the theater and do a viewing and do a big thing. Do it here for regardless, because Max has a couple of other projects. I have a couple of other projects that we're going to be doing in conjunction, but I think that it would be cool to have everybody at one big premiere event.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely, if I get invited, I'll definitely drive out there for that. That would be awesome. Like I want to say, I want to meet everybody. I've already met Sean. I met Warden. I just haven't met Gavin yet, and Mariah and Twain. I've talked to Twain a little bit, but yeah, no, it would be awesome to be there and see that with you guys. That'd be amazing. But yeah, no. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. Like I said, everybody watching the stream, please go check out their Instagram. Bring their Instagram back because they deserve all the love and the support in the world. Yep. Go check it out. I'm going to leave it all linked down in the description down below. And I'm also going to link the Spider-Man Lotus trailer down below as well. So if you guys want to go check that out, it'll be all linked down below. Mariah, Max, thank you guys so much for being on. I appreciate the living heck out of you guys. You guys are awesome. And, yeah, man.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate you, and
we hope to see you in the future.
Yeah,
awesome, let's we'll definitely make some stuff happen.
For sure.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Bye. All right.
That went pretty good.
It went awesome.
If we get invited to the premiere, that would be so cool.
Oh, you are.
I'm gonna leave that in. I'm leaving that in.
Button so we can hear you. Hold on.
Show your faces.
All right. Well, I'll keep you guys on for the end. You guys get to see me end the podcast, which I don't think any guest has seen yet. So, well, with all that being said, thank you all for tuning in. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe down below if you haven't already, or if you are new. And go check out the Discord. I've just made it public to everybody, so it'll be linked down below as well. And yeah, with all that being said, we'll see you guys in the next episode of Nerd Talk.
Bye, everybody. It's been an honor.